Okay, this is Yersiniapest. I play a couple of different characters. This one is my PJ character, and I got talked into healing by my husband and some of the guild members. I'm not too sure about how it's going as of yet. I had just learned to kind of get down a pattern and stuff that I could do before the squish happened, and now everything's changed. So now we get to have the fun of figuring things out all over again. So what I did, because there were a lot of things that were missing, is I went ahead and cleared out all of my bars and tried to put things where I think I might like them. Of course, they're going to move a dozen times before I'm really happy with it. But what I like to do is my main stuff that I like if I'm healing, I like to put them on my center and like the 1 through 6. And I really like to do them kind of in a descending order. Because I do have Healbot, I use that the most, and I'll do a video on that one too. It makes healing much easier, but every now and then, because of the new patches and everything that have come in, you kind of have a few hiccups here and there. And that's to be expected. That's what happens when a new patch comes out. So, just for safety reasons, because in raids people like to get a little upset, and as fun as it is to kind of mess with them a little bit if they get that mad at you, I do try to make as many precautions as humanly possible. So what I did is I put a lot of my stuff down here, and there's some guys that are much better at this. I will full on admit that. I do this 100% for fun. I am not a serious gamer. Seriously, this is just for fun. So, because I use the Razor Naga, it makes it so much easier to not have to look down and click. So, from my descending order, I start with the Frost Shock, which shocks the enemies and kind of what's around you makes them kind of stunned for a minute, because as a healer, you kind of want to get away. You don't want to stand there. Purge. This gets rid of like magical effects. I don't know the exact terms of all of them. A lot of times right now, I'm kind of lucky if it winds up taking it off, because I'm not sure exactly what all the different colors and everything mean. I'm learning them as time goes on, and my husband is very, very helpful with all of that. So please, if you're interested in tanking, look at his videos. It's on Outrage Gaming, and they're really cool videos. Another one of our guild members, Odka, makes some tanking videos too, and they're really cool. So anyway, and then I have some of my defensive stuff, because if things are kind of slow with healing, which isn't very often, you can throw a couple of, like a flame shock and lava burst and lightning bolts at things, and I do them in that descending order. The flame shock sits on the target for a little while. The lava burst is kind of an instant kind of thing, and then the lightning bolt is something you can keep hitting them with. Alright, so then I have my chain lightning, which will hit multiple enemies. It's kind of my AoE attack. Next in line is the earth shield. I put that on my number 6. That I put on the tanks in raids. It kind of helps you heal, and it helps the tank out a little bit. And then we get into kind of the healing stuff. And actually, I think I'm going to move those two. Okay, so the first time is to Purify Spirit. It removes all curses and magic effects from a friendly target. Once again, it's one of those that if the other one doesn't work, I give that one a try, and hopefully it works. You never know. Healing Rain. In a raid, this thing is awesome because it works. You can keep moving it around, so like if the tank or anybody that's up close, they're taking a lot of damage, you put the Healing Rain on them, and it kind of takes the stress off of you for a minute so you can focus on somebody else. Or if another section is taking some damage and you're having a hard time keeping up with it, you plop that down right over them, it makes a circle around them, and it heals everybody within the circle. I do that along with this Healing Stream Totem. And talk about really taking some of the stress off of you as a healer, because that's the one thing I found is it's kind of a rush, but it's also kind of stressful. But as you start to get down your pattern and everything, man, it's a ton of fun. I normally play DPS, a warlock, or I really like my rogue for my days where I've had a really bad day at school or work. I get on my rogue, and it's kind of fun to stealth out and get people when they're not looking. So then there's this Riptide. Now, because I'm just learning about it, what seems to help a ton is when I put the Riptide on and I can hit with other ones, it makes them kind of more of an instant cast. And I can heal up the tank or somebody up really quickly. I use this mostly on the tanks though. Uh, for some reason, it seems like they can take a ton of damage all at once, and you kind of get yourself into trouble. And as the healer, you're the first one that gets yelled at when everything goes wrong. So, really don't care, but you know, I like to keep the rating as fun as I possibly can. Then I have Healing Wave. Healing Wave is something you kind of use. It doesn't cost very much as far as your mana is concerned, and so you can use it, and it heals for 5,930 about in there. Sometimes they kind of peak out at more than that, but it's kind of your go-to one. And then there's the Chain Heal. This one costs a lot as far as mana. Let's see, it says it costs 2,072 mana. I don't use this one very often. Because if you're in a really long raid or the fight's really long, man, it costs. And so I only use it very sparingly. And I seem to do okay as far as keeping my mana up. I've run out a couple of times, but not too often. I'm sure I'll get better at it the more that I work at it. Okay, the next thing is that we have these cool totems. As a healer and as a shaman, you get these cool totems. And all of them do kind of a different kind of thing. The Tremor Totem, it removes like the fears and the sheeps and the charms and stuff like that. In PvP, oh man, this thing is great because it seems like you always get attacked all at once, and so you can throw that down and it kind of breaks everything, but it breaks it for the group, not just for you. Then there's the Earthbinding Totem. It will stop and slow speed of anybody. This Fire Totem Elemental, he's kind of fun to mess with every now and then. I don't really use him or the Earth Elemental Totem really too terribly often, but they're there. The Searing Totem is really great. You can plop that down, and it'll, after you hit the target, it'll keep hitting them. So if you go to sleep or you get kind of incapacitated for a minute, it keeps hitting even though you can't. So that can be kind of useful. A Grounding Totem, it redirects any harmful spell casts or anything. You know what? I have never once used this. I guess maybe I should try it. I'll have to try it one of these times, but I've never really used it. One of my favorites, especially in PvP and a few of the different raids, is a Spirit Walker's Grace. It has a 2-minute cooldown, but different ones have like laser beams that are coming at you, or you have to keep moving. Well, this one allows you to cast and move. Windwalker Totems, another one I've never really used, so we'll have to try it. I never actually seen it work, so I'm not going to say too much about it till I've tried it out. Spirit Link Totem, never used. Healing Tide Totem, this is a get you out of jail free card. This is, the fight is going on, everybody's taking damage, and you're running out of mana because you can't keep everybody up. This thing goes down and it starts healing everybody and healing everybody. And then you can kind of relax and let your mana start to regain. That way you don't run out in the middle of a raid, because that's one of the worst things you can do as a healer is run out of mana. And if you really get going, it gets kind of hard to watch it. I'm not real good at putting all of the different pieces together yet. I'm getting there. I'm getting a lot better, but it takes some practice. And I think that's what makes this game so fun, is it's not just a point and click kind of game. You really have to do a little bit of thinking and a little bit of evolving and changing the way you do things. And you kind of look at all of the different types of players and see what they do. And oh heavens, you're going to make so many mistakes, but oh well, that's part of having fun playing something like this. This capacitor totem, I just started using it, and I really haven't felt too much of a difference as far as healing's concerned. After it's ticked and it blows up and it does its thing, it heals everybody, but I've used it 4 or 5 times now, and I just really do not see the difference. So, alright, let's see here. You can see my styling outfit. It's not really that great, but it's what works. See that little explosion? It heals. Alright, and then the healing stream totem. I put this down every fight, all the time. The minute that it's up, I put it down. It helps a ton, especially with this healing rain, because you put this down, it heals the people that are inside the healing rain, but it also heals the people throughout as long as they're close enough. So really a great thing to have. Okay, so that's kind of how I set things up. In my next video, I'm going to go into a couple of battlegrounds, see if it works. Maybe a little bit this afternoon after I get back from class. I am going to practice in a couple of raids, and good or bad, I'll show you what happens. It should be fun. Normally when I reset things up, I kind of squirrel everything up a little bit for a little while, but oh well. We'll have fun doing it and figure out how to become really good at this. I totally do this just for fun. It's nothing else. I'm in nursing school, in pre-nursing, hopefully get into a nursing program here soon. So this is my thing to do. I love this game. It's a ton of fun. So I hope if you're interested and you have a boyfriend or a husband who's playing, maybe you'll give it a try, see what happens. And you can learn to like it as much as I do. Love it. I guess you should say love it. So good luck to you. And I really look forward to you seeing our other videos. We have 2 other people that are doing tanking videos. My husband, who is one of them, and Adka, who's another one of our players that we've played together now for, oh goodness, about 6 years, I believe, 6 or 7 years. And they're making tanking videos, and they're both very good at the tanking. And that's how I got talked into doing healing, is they needed a healer. It doesn't seem like healers are very plentiful right now. And so please check out other videos on Outrage Gaming, and I look forward to seeing you. Please leave a comment, like us, and enjoy playing.